Hey, it's Maria, and welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, your weekly escape into the flavors, stories, and simple joys of the Italian lifestyle. This is where we slow down, gather around the table, and remember what really matters. So, wherever you are, in the kitchen, on a walk, or easing into your day, I'm grateful you're here. Let's begin. Yes, my special guest today is Nikita Thakrar, and I think she's joining us from London. Is that correct?
Yes, hello. Hi,
Wow,
Maria.
great. Hi, thank you for being here. And
Mhm.
she's an author and a TEDx speaker, and she created a methodology that is called Karma to Dharma.
Dharma, yes.
Okay. And
Mm.
it's all about getting us to get out of our patterns, our habits, so
Yeah,
we get new purpose and to bring
yeah.
purpose into our life. So, how did you, first of all, thank you so much for being
Of
here.
course.
And how did you get into discovering this methodology that you put together?
Yes, I was born and brought up in the UK, and
Uh-huh.
I come from Indian heritage. And
Uh-huh.
I ended up going to India at the age of 18, and I spent 10 years there studying yoga philosophy, Indian classical dance. And
Uh-huh.
this is where I first heard the Sanskrit words karma and dharma. So
Uh-huh.
I think I must have planted a seed then, because here I am, 2 decades later, and I've been running my own studio here in the UK, a dance and yoga studio.
Uh-huh.
I've written a book that's been published called Meditation Through Poetry.
Uh-huh.
And so this methodology was really born from my own lived experience.
Ah, yes. So why is it that we get into these patterns and then, we just keep following the same pattern and then nothing really else happens or we're not making any progress and people don't realize it's because they're in their same pattern.
Exactly. So many people come to me and say they have, repeating cycles of having issues with their career or their relationships or whatever
Uh-huh.
it is, their health.
Right.
And it's always about looking internally, like what patterns am I operating from? As you use the word habits, what habits am I repeating? What identities have I inherited that don't belong to me? And this is really an opportunity for us to peel back the layers and to get to know ourselves. And that
Uh-huh.
process of peeling back the layers is what I call the journey from
Uh-huh.
karma to dharma.
Yes, that's great. So, any quick tips on how we can break out of, because when people get into these patterns, it's so normal that they don't even realize, right, that they're doing that. I
Yeah.
know from my own experience, you just don't realize it until you kind of halt yourself and you kind of, I guess, like you said, you look internally. But so, how do we break ourselves from um, repeating patterns over and over again?
That's such a good question. And the first one, the steps, I guess, is awareness.
Uh,
Awareness is the most important thing. Because as you said, so many people are living on autopilot. They don't realize they think they're just naturally a people pleaser, for example, or a
yes,
procrastinator or a
yes.
perfectionist. But actually, if you become aware of your patterns, that's a
Mhm.
really good starting point. And the second stage is to alchemize it. So alchemizing it is a term for changing it, transforming it. And I believe that it's very difficult to do that alone.
Uh-huh.
You can become aware of your patterns by yourself, but the
Mhm.
second stage is where you need to have a coach or a mentor, someone to guide you on the journey.
Uh-huh. Right, because it sounds like, as we were saying, it's not always that easy to recognize the pattern that you're doing, and you need to bring in, right, somebody that is not partial, that,
Yes.
or maybe doesn't live with you or know you well, because they could tell
Mm,
right away the
exactly.
patterns that
Yeah,
you're in.
somebody else is able to spot in you, somebody who's trained and someone who's walked the path. I emphasize that my work comes from me living this life, this experience. And so
Uh,
many people, they teach from textbooks, but they don't embody it.
right, exactly. Um, so patterns with purpose. So, um, how can we, so if we, finally get out of these patterns, how can we try to then make progress and create
Yeah.
another purpose in
So
life, in
when
our
we let
lives?
go of our patterns, our habits, our identities, we are letting go of our karma. Our karma is what we've come into this world with. It's the
Uh-huh.
baggage, if you like. And
Right?
then what happens when we come out of it is we step into our dharma. Dharma is our truth. It's our essence. It's the reason that we were born. So many people are living from a different version of themselves. They're masking, they're having to hide their true selves. But
Uh-huh.
when you step in your Dharma, you're living your authentic truth.
So what is the difference now between karma and dharma? Tell us that
So
again.
karma is living from autopilot. It's living from the programming of the conditioned mind. It's living from your lower self. Whereas
Uh-huh.
Dharma is living from your higher self. It's your truth. It's your purpose. It's your very reason for being. So many people question, like, why am I here?
Uh-huh.
What's the meaning of life? This is the meaning, to
Uh-huh.
peel back all your layers and to find your true self.
Wow. So we have to find our dharma, and we do that by breaking out of our sort of autopilot
Yeah.
karma of just kind of keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating.
Exactly. I
So
love
do
how
you,
you say that. Yeah. And
oh
it's not
yes.
so much about finding. In my TEDx talk, it was titled Dance with Your Dharma. And
Uh-huh.
this is metaphoric because I was a dancer, but
Uh-huh.
it's about being in flow with. So it's not like you um, achieve a state and that's it,
Uh-huh.
you're there.
Uh-huh.
It's about being in that state of flow with your Dharma. That's why I use the word dance with your Dharma.
Ah, oh, very, very interesting. So, do you have any stories that you can tell us of maybe somebody that was really like into their a pattern and they finally broke out of it and got into their own purpose?
Yeah, a lot of the people that come to me, they're men and women, they're high
Ah,
achieving professionals, they're people that have made it in their fields, they've
ah,
got everything on paper, but
right.
internally they feel disconnected from
Ah,
themselves. And so
uh-huh.
they're still operating from karma because they have those patterns, as we said, people pleasing, perfectionism, procrastination, and so many more. They're operating from obligation. They're
Oh,
giving in to other people. They're
uh-huh.
doing things because they think they should do them, not because they want to do them. That's
Right.
the biggest way to become aware. When
Uh-huh.
you're speaking, are you saying, I have to do this? Or
Uh-huh.
are you saying, I want to do this? That's the
Uh-huh.
biggest difference. And so when you're living a life according to other people's expectations and obligations, that's when you're out of alignment. But when you tap into what you want to do internally, that's when you're in alignment with your Dharma.
Uh-huh. Oh, very interesting. So you get so people, both men and women,
Yes,
get into this. I thought it might be more women, but it sounds like it's men and women.
both men
Do
and women.
both men
Who are
and women.
questioning themselves. They're asking, like, who am I? I've
Uh,
achieved everything. I've got the house, I've got the kids, I've got the dog.
right.
Now what?
Exactly. And some of those things, like you said, are they've achieved certain things that were maybe expected of them.
That's
So
a
they
very good
feel that
point.
an emptiness inside. And
Yeah.
they probably don't realize why they're feeling
No.
that emptiness
And
inside.
then what that emptiness shows up in the form of symptoms. So for me, I had a health scare,
Uh-huh.
and that was a sign from my soul
Uh-huh.
telling me something's out of alignment. So I believe that the mind, body, and soul are connected,
Uh-huh.
and that when our body is reacting, manifesting symptoms or health problems,
Uh-huh.
that's a sign from our soul.
Ah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So we're almost out of time, Nikita. Tell people where they can find you. Do you have a website?
Yes, I have a website. I have a fun quiz on my website so
Oh,
people
great.
can find out how they are in
Uh-huh.
alignment with their Dharma. It's
Uh-huh.
called
Okay.
journeywithnikita.com, and I'm on all the social media channels, Journey with
With
Nikita.
Nikita.com. Great. Thank you so much. Very, very
Yeah,
interesting and much
thank
success with
you.
everything also. And
Thank you for
hopefully,
having me.
oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Hopefully more people will
Yeah.
help. This will help them find their purpose.
Yes.
And my special guest today is Nadjela Salimi. She is a clinical psychologist based in Auckland, New Zealand, and she's going to help us with some relaxation tips for summer. So, even though people think summer is a relaxing time, it does get a little stressful, right? I know, Nadjela, you were mentioning that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Maria. Yeah,
You're welcome.
it's interesting. It's interesting, right? We think summer is this time, or it's expected to be this time where it's hanging out with the family, recovery, rest, relaxation. But a lot of times it becomes really stressful because a lot of the structure disappears.
Right. And there's so many things going on because there's no structure. So, it's like a whole other thing. There isn't the school hours. So now it's like almost like a free for all almost. So yes, it does get crazy. And
Yeah.
then vacations can be stressful too, even though, people think, oh, vacations are relaxation. There's a lot to do to go on vacation, which makes it stressful also. So can you give us some tips to kind of refresh and stay relaxed or help with relaxing in the summertime?
Yeah, absolutely. So, bit of context. Oftentimes in my practice, I see
Yes.
a lot of high functioning women
Uh-huh.
that are juggling work, family life, busy social lives.
Hmm.
And so, like you said, when summer rolls around, there's this expectation that this is a good time to relax and recharge. But actually, what I see tends to happen is that things become, again, really unstructured, and
Hmm.
that external scaffolding, which is school routines, kids' sports, things like that, they sort of disappear and they go from being visible to invisible.
Ah,
So the routines we usually rely on just
right.
disappear. So what that might look like is, you're home trying to relax with your family, but then at the same time, you also have a bunch of tabs open in your head. You
Uh-huh.
have all these things that probably need to do every day to make your day go round, such as making sure everyone's fed, watered,
Right.
sunscreened, and it's a lot of cognitive pressure to keep track of.
Right, because routine, I think, is what helps to keep anxiety levels kind of at bay, right? If you have a routine, you know what you're going to do, and it kind of keeps your anxiety level low. Whereas I guess if you don't have a routine, it's like, where do I start now? So, so what,
Yeah.
yeah, so what are some ways that we can avoid the anxiety that summer may bring on?
So, some of the things I oftentimes suggest is automating the small stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, it's not about lowering your standards, but more about making those tons of small decisions that
Mhm.
wear us down over the course
Mhm.
of one day and become quite cumulative
Right.
into automatic decisions. So it might be placing the sunscreen by the door or in the car or in the beach
Hmm.
bag, um, having a recurring grocery order,
Uh-huh.
maybe having two or three meals in rotation.
Hmm.
Um, so you don't have to rethink your whole meal plan every week.
Exactly.
So,
I think those grocery delivery services, they are a big help, especially for working parents. I know a lot of people might like to shop themselves, but it just cuts out a lot of unnecessary like time that you have to spend doing that when you can be doing other things. So the grocery delivery service is definitely, and even sometimes um, the pre-prepared like foods and things like that where you have the meals done. So that kind of eliminates that time. Although I do recommend always fresh foods, but pre-prepared foods also is a good thing. So,
yeah.
so you're saying to automate things, which I think makes a lot of sense also. Um, Anything else, especially for people like if they're getting ready to go on vacation? Well, I guess automating things would be a good, definitely a good rule if you're going on vacation, because that can be stressful, right? Lots of things to prepare and remember to take with you, especially if you're not only vacationing yourself and someone else, but yourself and maybe kids too, maybe pets too. So, any tips for that for people,
Mm,
trying to
yeah.
relax on vacation, but it can be stressful.
Um, yeah, that's completely, yeah, totally valid. I would also recommend handing off an entire, so what we do, especially as women, we often, even if we ask for help with something at home, we're
Right,
still project managing.
right.
So it becomes help me pack rather than pack, or help me with dinner rather than you own that dinner.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
so ownership, start to finish, delegating a task to someone else if you can, your
Right.
partner, kids,
Mm-hmm.
so you're not still project managing it in the background. So if someone else chops vegetables, but you're still deciding what's for dinner, or
Right.
tracking timing, or making sure everything's packed, like for vacation, then you're not actually, you haven't handed off the mental load. You've only handed off part of the labor. You're still
Mm-hmm.
project managing, which again accumulates.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think I know people that like they have teen kids and I'm always like, why don't you, make them because teens can, as long as obviously they have to know, safety for the kitchen, but I mean, having your teen, help with the cleaning or do delegate some cleaning tasks to the teen or even some cooking tasks to the teens. I think if you have teens, and it's possible. I think that's definitely help, and it's beneficial for the teens, right, to learn those other skills as well, and it takes the burden off of their mom or dad as well. So
Mm,
I think that
yeah,
could be a help too. But
absolutely. I
lots of
often
resources. What were you going to
mm,
say?
and making that invisible load visible so that other people in the household might be able to
Oh,
help. So putting it on a whiteboard,
that's a great
yeah,
idea. Putting it like, actually, that's a great idea. So, yep, a whiteboard, a chart, and maybe everybody can take a task or something.
yeah. Um, one of my clients actually gave me a really good tip the other day, which is with her kids, has these magnets on the dishwasher,
Uh-huh.
and they slide the magnets over, and everyone
Uh-huh.
has a color. It's color coded.
Uh-huh.
And when someone empties the dishwasher, they slide it over and onto the next person, and then
Uh-huh.
it just recycles again.
Oh,
So they
that's
always
great.
know whose turn it is.
You're suing. Yes, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, I think especially as women, as you said, we take on too much and then really kind of don't ask for help and, try to take on just too much. And that, I guess, leads to anxiety and not being able to relax also and enjoying vacation time as well. So, but they're all great tips. Any tips before we go? Because we're almost out of time. Any last minute tips?
I think the my most if you walk away with one thing from today, I would say this: that prioritize your own recovery.
Uh-huh.
So rest is maintenance.
Uh-huh.
Your rest is maintenance. It's not a reward for having the perfect day or getting everything done off your to-do list. It's not something you earn. And
Mhm.
when we actually prioritize our own rest and stop treating it as this earned thing, we see that it's just a necessary part of being human.
Uh-huh. That's great. Yeah, rest is really important. I think everybody overlooks that. Definitely. You need to sleep. Those 8 hours as or close to that if you can, definitely. That's great. All great tips. Do you have a website that people can
I
find you or Instagram or something?
I work at empowerment psychology in Auckland.
Uh-huh.
If you want to find me, you can find me on the empowerment psychology website.
Okay, empowerment psychology. Yes. All right, we will do that. We'll note that on the blog at the marialiberattishow.com when we have this episode airing. That's great. All great tips. Thank you so much. And hopefully you've helped our audience be able to relax a little bit more this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
You're welcome. You can, if you can hang on, we're going to say goodbye, but hang on. Okay. And my special guest today is Kerry Hughes. She is a registered herbalist, ethnobotanist, and an author. And, summer's here, so what better time to try and connect with our gardens and our plants? And Kerry's going to help us do some of that or give us some tips how we can have fun in the garden this summer. Kerry, thanks so much for being here.
I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted it's summer finally.
Yes, me too. Finally is right. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I know we were going to talk about some fun things people can do this summer, I guess related to gardening or plants.
Sure. I mean, so I'm an ethnobotanist, and I connect with plants maybe in a way that a lot of people don't. And
Yes.
I also happen to be an avid gardener.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's really astounding that people don't know and don't use their garden in ways that they could, that there's really a lot of the common garden plants that we have in our gardens, like the things that we think of as just like ornamental, pretty plants. Actually, we kept them around for reasons that other than just being pretty.
Yes.
So there's this whole fascinating history of our relationship with these plants. And there's ways we could be using them. And people, I think, are just, well, they're unaware of this, but they're also afraid of, using plants in various ways. And I think
Yes.
that people should get over that.
Yes.
It could
Yes.
open a whole new life for them if they were able to connect with their garden in that way.
Exactly. So, what would you recommend? Let's say there's somebody that wants to get into gardening, and when you get into something new, it's just like with cooking, people get so intimidated. Oh, they think of all these different things, and then they never get started. So, if somebody wants to get started gardening, what would you think would be the simplest thing to do or to try to grow to start with? Because once something grows, you get more encouraged, and you're like, oh yeah, you get confidence, and they'll go from there. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, two things. Like, number one, like people think, oh, I have to have a big garden in order to garden. And that's not true, right? We can
Right.
actually connect to plants and become little gardeners, even if you just have pots or, like
Right.
potted plants on a patio or something
Uh-huh.
like that. And secondly, people also tend to not really have this relationship with plants and identifying plants, and it, people tend to see the world as like this kind of green carpet, or something. Like they look at a forested area, they don't see individuals there, and it seems overwhelming to try to
Yes.
learn, right? But
Yes.
really, my thing is just start with one plant,
Mhm.
and there's lots of things to choose from. So, like one easy one would be calendula, right? And that can be grown in pretty much any climate,
Uh-huh.
because they can be grown as annuals, and actually they do hang around as perennials too, and they reseed. So, if you're in a more temperate climate or tropical climate, they will reseed and hang around. If you're somewhere where you're gonna get snow, hard freeze, they will go dormant, obviously, and then they'll come right back the following year.
Oh, really?
And calendulas are, they're just like little daisy-like type flowers,
Uh-huh.
and they actually were kept around they're from kind of Eurasia, right? And they were kept around in gardens, like in the European gardens, not just in the formal gardens, but they tended to be in like the cottage gardens or the kitchen gardens. And that means that they were kept there not for those formal like looks or whatever that they had, the ornamental looks, but because people were using them.
Right.
And they used them for a lot of different things. So they used them, the flowers themselves are edible,
Uh-huh.
and you can take the little petals off and put them in salads, and you can add them to food to add color. In fact, they're often called poor man's saffron because they add kind of that saffron-like color to them, but they don't have the flavor of saffron, unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
But what they are useful for are making things like salves or, kind of things that can soothe the skin and be antibacterial. So they have lots of good topical
So
uses as
the
well.
flowers are edible.
The
That's what you're
flowers are
saying.
edible,
You
yes.
can't put them in food. You can't put the flowers in food.
You can, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
You put them in your salads, make your salads more decorative, or you
Yes,
can
yes.
put them actually in cooked foods, and then the cooked foods will get a color
A
from them.
color. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So a color like saffron, but without the flavor.
Exactly.
So that does sound like an easy something that people can start with. And yes, I know people, I think they think garden, they have to have this gigantic thing and it has to just be so big where what you're saying is they can just grow something or start with something like calendula and kind of take it from there. What about
Yes.
herbs? Are there any of the herbs that like culinary herbs that are easy to grow? What would you recommend as an easy to grow herb?
Sure. Well, I'll give you a really strange one, actually.
Uh-huh.
It's not really normally thought of as a
Uh-huh.
culinary herb, but lavender is another one that I like to
Oh,
tell people to start with because, actually, so it is used as a culinary herb in some
yes.
cuisines. So,
Uh-huh.
like French cuisine would use lavender.
Yes.
But, that's something that is ornamental and people tend
Uh-huh.
to grow it for ornamental reasons. It's also drought tolerant, pest tolerant,
Oh,
and then smells very nice.
yes.
You can cut the flowers and they dry really well. So not only as a fresh cut flower, but also just dried flower that retains the scent
Yes.
and beauty. And
Hmm.
then you can, once it's either fresh or dried, you can use it for things like I was saying, like salves and things like that. But a simple use of starting there would be put it in your bath. So
That's a great
you can
idea.
put them in the bath, and then you have the lavender scent, which is
Right.
also very soothing to your nerves. In
Uh-huh.
herbalism, it's thought of as a nervine. So
Oh,
this
is
is
it
something
really?
that's kind of nourishes the nervous system, and you can
Uh-huh.
kind of sense that, I think, when you smell lavender
Smell it.
scent,
Yes, and I
that
guess
it's
you could like
soothing.
wrap it in cheesecloth and like make scents
Hmm.
in your drawers and stuff like that
Yeah,
also.
exactly, exactly.
So that's very soothing. Yeah, that's great. Yes, it is a culinary herb. People even put it in cakes and cookies and things
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah, and I've
So,
seen it in something that's been getting kind of popular is lavender smoothies, or not smoothies, sorry,
oh,
lattes.
oh,
In like
really? Oh, I
yeah,
haven't heard
I've been
of that
seeing
yet,
that.
but yes.
Isn't that
Wow.
funny?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. So, yeah, so, and I guess summer's the optimum time to start to grow those things.
So, during the spring and summer are,
Uh,
the traditional kind of gardening seasons. And
right.
yes, things can be started throughout the year. Depends on your climate when to best start things. Generally, spring is best,
Oh,
after
okay.
the last frost.
Right.
But in some areas, like in my area, I'm in the central coast of California.
Okay.
Actually, summer and fall are really good times to start things or, to plant things because what happens in the fall, especially, is that you can plant something kind of after the main heat of the summer, and then it kind of goes dormant, but the roots are growing still, right? Like the
Yeah.
plant is there. It's,
Uh-huh.
we don't have a hard frost here, but the
Um,
roots will be growing, and by the time springtime rolls around, you're not starting from new, right? You actually have a plant that has now kind of is ready to
to
shoot up.
shoot up.
And
Uh-huh.
so that's actually a really favorite time of gardening here.
Uh,
So it really depends on where you're at,
yes, exactly.
but things can be started, many times of the year, and you can bring things inside if you're in one of
Inside,
those
have a grow
climates that need
light
to.
and start.
Yeah,
Exactly. Just for people that want to enjoy like the summer weather, it's great to do like an outdoor thing
yeah,
to do your outdoor gardening, to have a reason to kind of get outside and enjoy the outdoor sun.
yeah. And I mean, a lot of people also just like the spring and the summer because it's when the flowers are out, right?
That's
And we love
right. Yes.
flowers. And I mean, that's
Yes.
one of the uses that I like to point out to people is that a lot of flowers are edible.
Oh,
And
yes. I
so there's
know
a lot
there's
of,
the nasturtium.
uh-huh,
That's
nasturtiums
called
are awesome.
nasturtium. Yes.
Yeah, so nasturtiums are a great flower actually because they also have, well, they're edible, they're kind of peppery.
Right.
And so, I mean, and they're really very beautiful flowers, right?
They
And they're
are. Uh-huh.
prolific, very
Uh-huh.
prolific.
Yes.
And they can be good in gardens, even like, those people that like think I'm not a good gardener, right?
Right.
Nasturtiums are probably for you
Uh,
because, and there's something that you can start from seed. So
uh-huh.
some things are kind of tricky by seed. That's not nasturtium. Nasturtium's super simple. You get
Uh-huh.
them. Sometimes you even just throw them out there, cast them out, and then they'll be up, by this in the
Uh-huh.
springtime, and
Uh-huh.
they grow quickly too, so that they get, they'll cover things, and make space, and you can use all parts of the plant. So like you can use
You
the
can.
the
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 leaves.
leaves, the flowers, even the stems. People don't use the stems so much, but the
Right.
flowers and the leaves are the main,
Oh,
and
and are
and they're
they
both peppery.
right? Are
Um,
they perennial or annual?
No, they're more like an annual, but they reseed like crazy.
Oh,
And
do they?
so, yeah, you can let them kind of do their things. And if they go too far, like you're like, oh, you're covering all my garden, you just rip them out, and they're super easy to rip out.
Oh,
But
okay.
they'll leave their seeds around and they'll come back.
Yeah, they make
Um,
a pretty touch to like a salad or any dishes too.
yes, they're really beautiful. And they're very,
Yes.
like utilitarian, I guess you could say.
Yes. What other
Yeah.
flowers might be edible?
Yeah, well, lavender, like I said before,
Right,
is
lavender.
edible.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, oh boy, there's so much. I'll tell you, like some of the ones are my favorites.
Right.
So most people don't think about, I don't know, do you know what a pineapple guava is?
No, I
Probably not.
actually don't. A
I guess
pineapple.
it's a little bit of a different one to be
Uh-huh.
recommending, but
Is
it's
that
my
a flower?
favorite.
Is that a
Well,
flower?
so yes, it's both. So pineapple guava is Feijoa is the genus name,
Uh-huh.
and it's actually increasingly popular in temperate areas.
Oh, okay.
So places without the really hard frost as just
Right.
like a garden plant, and even
Uh-huh.
they're starting to use it like as like freeway plantings and things like
Oh,
that
okay.
because so drought tolerant and fuss free, right?
Oh,
So it's kind of
yes.
a silvery looking shrub or small
Uh-huh.
tree. And
Uh-huh.
then what it gets is it gets these little flowers on it that are followed by these little guava-like fruits. And
Oh,
those fruits are like they're not
are they
guavas, but they taste like
they're
a
edible?
mixture between a pineapple and a
And a
guava.
guava, and so
They're
they're
actually
edible.
really delicious, and
Oh, wow.
they're abundant, these fruits. But the
Wow.
flowers that come
Mhm.
before them, and this is my favorite edible flower, they're
Uh-huh.
very interesting because they have a lot of stamens, right, and in the
Uh-huh.
center, but then they have these fleshy petals that are so delicious,
Oh,
and they're
really?
fleshy, and they're
Uh-huh.
just really kind of bizarre little flowers, but they
Wow.
taste like perfume in a way, but perfume in a
Oh,
good
do they?
sense
Yes, yes.
because they're kind of sweet, and then there's a aromatic part to them that just you
Yeah,
inhale as you eat kind of thing. and
right. That's
and
interesting. I was going to say zucchini flowers are really
oh
good
yeah.
too. And I know
Hmm.
we stir fry them, or rather saute them, put them in like a frittata,
Right.
stuff them. They're really, really good.
Yes.
So they're also good to eat as well. The pineapple,
Yeah.
I guess that's well, you said that's in temperate
Temperate
climate.
type climates. Yeah, temperate or
Yes,
kind of, less, less without the hard frost. Let's
without
see,
the
there's
hard
also
frost.
bee balm. Bee
Uh-huh.
balm is that can be in a place with hard frost, and that's
Uh-huh.
so that's like a shrubby kind of perennial,
Right,
and it doesn't get really woody, but it
right.
has lots of nice flowers, and they're fragrant. They are
Uh-huh.
great pollinator attractors in
Uh-huh.
the garden.
Mhm.
Bees, obviously, bee balm is kind of where they,
Right, right.
and they make great teas. They're
Oh,
really
do they
tasty
really?
teas. Yeah, and actually, Native Americans. This is one of the plants that Native Americans kind of, we got from them
Right.
that the colonists learned,
Uh-huh.
and kind of, they connected with them, especially during like the whole Boston Tea Party thing, when the tea kind of went away for a little while
Exactly.
in our culture, we would have looking for other kinds of teas, and this is one of them. And it also has digestive benefits,
Oh, wow.
some medicinal benefits
That's
to it
good.
as well.
Has
And it's a
medicinal.
pleasant tea. So,
Oh, okay. And that's
yeah. And it's
B1.
also, you can take the little flowers, you can put them in salads as
Oh,
well,
that's
or
great.
on foods, and they're decorative and cute,
Yes. Yes.
and plentiful during the summertime.
Yes, definitely. And I just want to tell people to make sure, you know the plant that you're
Yeah.
eating, make sure it's that plant and that it's
Yes.
definitely edible. So
Yeah.
just make sure you do that. But anyway, so we're almost out of time. And Kerry, where do you have a website that people, oh, you're an author also, so people can look for your books, but do you have a website that people can find you at?
Yeah, so my website is ethnopharm.com. So like
Okay.
ethnopharmacology, but so it's farm with a PH, ethnopharm.com.
Okay.
And there's a page there for my books, which
Uh-huh.
include a couple books on these common garden plants with multiple uses. So there's one on edible flowers, focused on edible flowers, and one on aromatic plants. Soon to be one out on medicinal plants that are common garden plants as well.
Oh, that's great.
And then I have some other books on like clinical use of herbs, like herbalism, and I have a blog with videos and that kind of thing, and a YouTube channel.
So yeah, so people can
Yeah.
find that when they go to ethnopharm.com.
Yes.
And we'll try and put that on the blog for the marialiberatishow.com when we post this episode also, so
Wonderful.
people can see that. Great. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show, and thanks as always to my producer, Britton Roselle. And as I've been mentioning throughout the summer, that I've had the chance to review different products for my Summer Best of Products 2026 guide that you can find at the marialiberatishow.com. You'll see the title, How to Summer. And each week I do add in new products, and I just wanted to give a mention to some of the products that I found this week. If you want to see my review on the products, go to the marialiberatishow.com, How to Summer, and you will see a review of all the products that I've been mentioning throughout the summer. So the first product is Trees and Hugs sheet sets. Drift into comfort with Trees and Hugs sheet sets. Soft, breathable bedding designed to wrap you in calm, nature-inspired relaxation. Then there is Blue Vua counter reverse osmosis system. It's a sleek countertop purifier that delivers crisp, clean, bottle quality water on demand. And best of all, you don't have to buy bottled water. Keep your hair protected with Curasilk smooth, snag-free silk bands that hold your style without the breakage of traditional rubber ties. Snack smarter with Nichols, that's Nichols Farms pistachios, farm fresh, perfectly roasted nuts known for their rich flavor and exceptional quality. And let me tell you, they are really delicious. Spark creativity with the Print Your Imagination sticker box, a colorful collection of mix and match designs that turns every surface into a mini masterpiece. Hit refresh between washes with Jupiter Day 2 Dry Shampoo, a clean, lightweight boost that revives volume and keeps hair looking freshly styled. Lift your everyday routine with Cosmetology foaming hand soaps, gentle plant-powered cleansers that leave hands fresh, soft, and naturally scented. Brighten your smile the easy way with Tidal Love toothpaste tablets, fresh, travel ready, and designed to make brushing feel modern and mess-free. Protect your skin with Eat My Face sunscreen SPF 30, a lightweight everyday shield that keeps you sun safe without that greasy feel. Keep the kids' hydration happy with No Biggie Juice. It's a kid-made, kid-approved drink that's delicious, simple, and made especially for the little ones. Celebrate your love of the game, that's baseball, with Dugout Mugs, the iconic bat barrel drinkware that turns every sip into a baseball moment. Restore tired leather instantly with Leather Honey's leather and vinyl reconditioning balm. It's a rich conditioning formula that revives softness, shine, and long-lasting protection. Fresh your glow anytime with Porcelain Skincare Daily Hydrate Face Mist. It's a fine, soothing mist that revives tired skin with moisture. Wrap yourself in effortless comfort with the Evergrace Waffle Cotton Quilt Set, soft, breathable, and beautifully textured for every season. And there we have it. That's all the products for this week. And as always, you can find me at marialiberati.com, at the marialiberatishowcom, where you can find a review of all the products I'm getting to review this summer. And you can also find me on Twitter at Maria Liberati, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on Pinterest at Maria Liberati. You can find videos that I've done on Vimeo at Maria Liberati, and our YouTube channel, The Maria Liberati Show. And you can also find my Gourmand World award-winning book series, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, at marialiberati.com, at artoflivingpremiummedia.com. But you can also find it on Amazon and Kindle. And Amazon and Kindle now has audiobook versions of most of my books. So check it out. And until next time, peace, love, and pasta.
Thank you for spending this time with me today. I love these moments we get to share, slowing down, savoring a story, and finding beauty in the simple things that make life feel full. If today's conversation inspired you, comforted you, or gave you something to think about, pass it along to someone who might need that same feeling. And until next time, keep savoring the small moments, keep nourishing your life with good food and good stories, and keep embracing the art of living well. And please subscribe. I'll see you soon.